with
Hello.
the new and improved John.
The backup John.
The backup John. Yeah, John is on a much needed and well-deserved vacation. And Kasim's terrified of taking these calls alone. So I dropped a link into the strategy team and said, fellas, help me. And Usama, so far, you're the only one brave enough to step up to the plate.
I tried guilting everybody. So far, it doesn't seem like it's working.
They're coming. Don't worry. I have faith in them. I'm
If you're
excited.
seeing this, y'all better show up.
Yeah. This is going to be a good one. So, as always, thank you to everybody who's showing up. I see a Facebook user says hello. Dave Fogel, hey boys.
Hello,
If y'all want to
hello.
ask questions in the live Q&A, you got to jump into the tube. So jump into YouTube, and I'm going to be pulling our questions from the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited about. There we are. I was just waiting for YouTube to queue it up. And we've got some new members. We've got Tommy Dukas now. Sorry, Tommy, if I mispronounced that. Hey, Tommy. Tommy's here. And then we've got Brett Nelson. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you. Theodore's here. Nice to see you. I just applied to get on the beta for negative keywords for PMax. No way. Dave, where did you do that? Where does that exist?
There's a beta now?
John, what up, John? John Ray.
Hello.
Yeah, Dave, can you
John.
send us a screenshot of where that beta exists? Because we were told by Google that everybody was going to get it, and then we were told by Google that nobody's going to get it. So now nobody knows what to believe, which is super, super frustrating. Michael, what up, Michael? Steve. Oh, my Google rep. Yeah. Well, we'll see then, Dave. Arms of Andes is here. What up, Arms of Andes? Brett Nelson, customer list doesn't work in PMax. Really? What didn't work about it, Brett Nelson? Could you not upload it?
Oh, it might be a, what do you call it, spend issue. If you have a new account, and I think there's like a $50,000 spend threshold you got to cross
But they removed
before.
the spend threshold, didn't they?
They didn't. They said they did it, but like a lot of the times you can, and it's usually because of the spend threshold.
That's so frustrating.
That sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. Brett Nelson, have you reached $50,000 in lifetime spend? It's lifetime, right? It's not per annum?
Yes. I'm gonna go with yes.
All right. I'm gonna shout out our new members real quick. Brett Nelson, Tommy Dukas now. I'm sorry I'm saying that wrong, Tommy. Casey Snow, Vuviet on, Y David 74, EM Pujols, Carp and IanaQ, Nick Dave Virgilio, Shashank Chowdhury, Nick Hammond, Client Dispute Management. You scare me a little bit, but I'm glad you're here. Max Vanders, Abir Syed, Chris Horridge, Leo number 26, and everybody else has been around. So appreciate y'all being here. Start dropping your questions into chat. Usama, just so y'all know, is one of our longest tenured strategists. He's here to answer your questions. Justin just signed up to be a good person, by the way. Thank you, Justin. So Usama, we're going to start taking him away.
Let's do it.
Brett Nelson says, upload works, but it won't take it. It's been there a while.
Yeah, it's usually a spend issue where you can upload the customer list onto Google and it's big enough, but because I guess the spend limit, you can't use it as an audience signal in your PMax campaign, which is weird.
That is really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super weird. That's also really frustrating because Google came out and said officially that they've lifted all the spend thresholds. So the fact that it hasn't been lifted, I almost wonder if you can ascend that through support, because that feels like something that just shouldn't be there.
It's worth a shot.
Dave Fogel said that his Google account rep said, try using negative on the account level. Negative application on the account level doesn't work in PMax, at least not to my knowledge, if anybody else has tried it. Who's this? FA's here. Check this out. Now it's a party.
There we go.
What up,
my guilting worked.
There we go.
Kaden, I know you're watching this. Onkar, I know you too. Where are you guys at?
Yeah, they're running scared.
It's live. We're live.
Yeah. Kaden just goes, the last video you were under a red light, like you were evolving Pokemon.
I'm evolved.
That's so funny. Ryan Huron just joined to be a great person. Thank you, Ryan. Dave Fogel goes, John looks different today. Did he grow out his hair? All right. So we got a question from Justin here. How do I fix my conversion tracking for e-commerce and PMax to only show purchase value in columns? Currently, it's showing 80% conversion rates and inflating everything by counting ATC, etc.
So can I take this, or who wants to take it?
Take it.
All right, so there's a couple ways to do this, and we recorded a video on this a couple of days ago, me and Kasim too. Google just recently started, I guess, handing out us the regular columns that we used to have earlier, which is conversions, cost per conversion, conversion value divided by cost, which was set to basically whatever conversion action you are tracking. So if you don't have that, if you have that, sorry, you can just use those, but you're gonna have to check. And if you don't have that, the easiest way that we kind of do for accounts that don't have that right now is we literally go in and delete all the other conversion actions, which is like a temporary fix. So the only conversion action you
the
have
other way, I'm sorry, I jumped in. Like, if you don't
Yeah, go
want
ahead.
to remove all of the conversions, you can just kill the conversion value. That way, you can count every conversion, every other conversions, and see only the purchase values.
Yeah. The only drawback of killing the conversion value for the other conversion is that your number of conversion number will be inaccurate, but your cost per but your conversion value over basically your ROAS would be accurate.
And so you guys bat me down if you disagree with this, but I'm afraid of killing all conversions or ancillary conversions, because even though now Google has come out and said secondary conversions aren't used for optimization, I don't buy that. I think secondary conversions are used for optimization. Otherwise, why would they have them? Google needs predictive indications of intent. So if you kill all secondary conversions, you're killing Google's ability to kind of see who would buy from you in the future.
So all of our accounts currently, before we got those new columns, which has literally been like, what, a week so far, have been running without any of the secondary conversion actions, because it was the only way we could measure the performance effectively. So all the results we've been seeing have been only with one conversion action, which was purchase.
Dave Fogel's Kasim doesn't buy anything that Google says. That's
Don't
true.
Trust anything Google says.
Hey, my boy Warren is here. So Octonation, first of all, Warren, thank you for the tip. Really appreciate you. This dude's an assassin. He's flown around by Zuckerberg and Facebook to teach other people how to run membership communities. Absolute brilliant marketer. I'm super flattered that you'd be here, buddy. Thank you. So Justin's question, we answered more or less. Justin, let us know if that satiates your desire or if there's more to dig into there. I've got Khalid. Google Ad account is always over reporting in purchase amount and the number of conversions. I troubleshoot it. The account has one goal, which is purchase, and counts it only in all conversion KPI.
Wait, say that again.
Yeah, where do you read the questions?
I pull up the Google Live. Hold on, I'll drop it into Slack. I pull up Google Live and I read them from there because Restream's chat function sucks. Onkar's here.
What's up, Onkar?
buddy?
Hi guys, are we live?
Yeah, we're live. Don't say anything stupid.
Pretend you're smart.
Yeah, so I just dropped the link to live, and then I'm going to drop Khalid's question into Slack, guys. You guys, let's tackle this one.
Yeah. Oh, so I think it's the issue we had, Onkar, with the most recent one. And the question I have for you, Khalid, is where are you sending people to track their orders? Because if you're sending people to the thank you page every single time, which is an account we had.
Oh, you're repeating
people were going to the thank you page to track their order, and every time it would just replicate. It would count it as an order. So you had one conversion, which was like $2,000, but because it visited 5 times, the conversion value was like $10,000 or something.
We ran into that once with Smart Shopping, where the
we ran into that with
confirmation page.
Yeah, we ran into that with a very recent account. So you can either send them to a completely separate page for tracking, or you can change the settings on your conversion action to just track the first conversion.
But if you change one to every, or if you change every one and you have repeat purchases, then it's not going to count that repeat purchase.
You'll miss that repeat purchase.
Khalid says, no, I have a code to prevent that already. No duplication on the thank you page.
Yeah, so actually it's not, wait, I'm hearing us, sorry. So actually it's not changing every conversion to one. We just add a code, which is if first time assist and end if. So with that code, it will prevent that conversion tag to fire again. So it will just fire once the transaction happen. If the customer clicks on reload or something, then it will not fire. So that's how we prevent duplicate conversion value tracking.
And what was that code again, Onkar? You said it was specific. It was
If first time assist.
okay. If first time assist.
Do we have a
Got it.
link to that somewhere we can send?
Yeah, Khalid, we'll try to drop that in the chat for you.
Yeah.
If you can find it, Onkar. Arms of Andes, what's the best way to read the metrics from our listing groups? I feel like in
That's a
order,
tough one.
right? They give you the efficacy of the new audience according to impact. It's like 33x, 20x, 15x, and then you take that new audience and you create a new asset group.
Wait, wasn't his question how to analyze listing groups?
Yeah, what's the best way to read the metrics from our listing groups?
Oh,
I'm thinking of insights. You're right. Yeah.
So, who wants to go?
Okay. Like,
'Cause if not,
what is
I'll
the
keep
more
talking.
important? Like, we check cost, click-through rates, conversion ratio, and ROAS. ROAS actually. If you want to know like how to optimize, you can always like create a filter and like products that have over 100 clicks, and you can also like descend by ROAS, and you can remove the ones that are not hitting your goal. And you have to check that sometimes Google, when it sees a light, let's say you have spent $1,000 in a week, you can see that only one or two of the products like get 90% of the budget, and just give 10% to the other ones. You should also check that one. That's the question.
We need like a infographic there, like the hierarchy of Performance Max data. You know, like the first most important key performance indicator specifically for ecom, and then it cascades down.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to do right now because you don't know how much influence the shopping campaigns and the search campaigns or just the overall funnel has on the whole purchase. Because you might end up killing a product that was getting hit by the shopping network but was converting on the search, so the listing group never got the conversion. Or it might have gone through shopping, search, and then converted on display. So search and shopping didn't get that data, but display was the one that converted it. So it's like it's a very risky move removing anything because you don't know how badly it's going to influence your results or your campaign. So you got to be very careful.
Yeah, Arms of Andes, we're not trying to dance around this one. What you're asking is a little tough. It's kind of like, hey, how do you run Google Ads? It's very open-ended. Like once you run Performance Max, the data that you see is going to indicate your next move, but then it really depends on what data you're seeing and why. And then your next question, how do we apply to get on the negative keyword list for PMax? Dave says he went through his Google rep. I'd be real careful with your Google reps because they're all liars.
Dissing Google again.
Yeah, God bless them. And they don't know that they're lying. They don't know that, but they're fed misinformation. But if you have a Google rep, maybe see if they can get you on the negative keyword beta. The most recent story we have from the higher end team at Google is that there is no negative keyword beta and they're not going to give it to us. So maybe that story has changed. Tommy says we ran a PMax for over a month and suddenly it spent 80% of its budget in an hour with no result. It did the same on the day reset right after midnight and we shut it off. Have you seen that before? Yikes. Have we seen that before?
Crazy budget spend and then all of a sudden, and then dying.
Yeah.
It might just be dynamic prospecting at that point. Did you check your CPCs during that time? Actually, no.
Actually, it happens with all of our PMax campaign. So on the first day or second day, it jumps and then it starts to die off. So that's when you should add more asset groups or add more audience signal to your asset groups. So first, it's just go wild. It tries to target each and every audience that you put in there, and then it segregates. So I tried this audience signal, it doesn't work. So let's not target that. I tried this. So that's why in the first 2 days you will see a jump in like cost, conversion, clicks, impressions, and all that. Then it will start to analyze each and every audience signal, and then it will stop spending. Not stop spending. It will stop spending on uh, audience signal, which it thinks that it can't get a conversion on that.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing on cars, it goes 2 inches deep but a mile wide, figures out what's working, and then starts to drill.
Yep.
Now, Tommy followed up and said the traffic spike looks like a bot. Here's what's crazy, Tommy, is we're seeing an insane amount of bot traffic in Performance Max, especially for lead generation.
Yeah.
Like it feels like 80% of all of Google's traffic is bots now. So I don't think what you're saying feels off base at all. What's weird though is because PMax is goal oriented, I would assume that it would stop bot traffic if it's not accomplishing your goal. So are you getting a bunch of false leads is what I'm saying? Because if you're getting false positives, Google's going to keep giving you more and more of those.
Yeah.
John told us the new gold standard for all lead generation is 15 fields per form. So if a client doesn't have 15 fields in a form, we're not going to run their PM. Now, if you're at 12, that's fine. But most of us are at 3 or 4. And that's what stops the bot traffic because the fields tend up being far more specific. And then if the bot traffic isn't converting, then Google stops sending you more bot traffic. But I'm convinced now that Google has a real strong inability to identify bot traffic. And Tommy
And
said,
what is the industry like? If it's super niche down, like no, I'm talking about the industry.
Sorry.
If you don't have like a decent search volume, if there is no demand for it, maybe Google is not seeing like. If people are not searching, I'm not going to show it for search. I couldn't show it for shopping. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to create demand. So I'm going to abuse GDN and I'm going to abuse YouTube. So like if it's crop tops, for example, like you cannot spend all of your, I'm not sure about your budget, but you cannot spend all of your budget on search and shopping right away.
Yeah, that's really well said.
Yeah.
Tommy
I think
said,
FA is
go
correct
ahead, Onkar.
because I've tried Performance Max on 4 or 5 lead gen accounts, and it's working on like it doesn't work on like 4 because of bot traffic. Like I was getting bot traffic because there was no one searching for that service. So yeah, Performance Max was going display, discovery, YouTube, and everything. But for one account where we are spending like 100K, it's a basement waterproofing company. Their SEO is good, so their DSA is working. So I think their Performance Max is focusing on search rather than going display, discovery, and YouTube. So we are getting good results in the PMax campaign.
Can't we force search by running search campaigns so Performance Max wants to steal from our search campaigns?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
as
do
a
that with
supplementary
DSA.
DSA, like Usama came up with it. The original idea is belonging to Usama. He's running supplementary DSAs with it, but you have to be patient when you first launch Performance Max. So it has all 7 channels, and it starts wild. Like we have a client that likes selling sample music library loops, stuff like this. And the first search themes that we saw is like listen mariachi or download mariachi. But we gave it like a week, and after that we see like decent like mariachi sample loops, drum music library for music production, stuff like this. But when you first started, you have to be patient. You have to understand it's going to start wild.
Dan Rosette asks, is it realistic to spend $1 million per month on PMax only and have 6 to 10 ROAS?
Yeah, we are doing that.
Well, I mean, we've got a couple clients that are crushing it. The problem is
Yes.
Dan, it depends on your industry. If you're selling cell phone cases, probably not. But if you're selling something that's like hyper specific and, has quite a bit in the way of value and a strong AOV, the thing that I'm seeing with PMax dying, I just got off the phone with a client earlier this week who's really upset about his lack of performance. He had like a $27 AOV. It's just, there's no way to pay for traffic there. Traffic's getting so much more expensive.
Yeah.
And you have to pay for that visibility. So I need to know more about your business, Dan. Any other input, guys?
That's exactly what we were talking about earlier too.
Depends on the industry.
CPC are going up, and the average order value that people tend to stick around for their ecom brand is usually like $20 to $30, when realistically you should be aiming for, like, in my opinion, 60 to 70 plus, especially with the cost.
Dude, big agencies don't take you if you're sub $80 AOV.
Yeah.
Sorry to be a fence sitter there, Dan. We need to know a little bit more. Khalid says, is search lost impression share by rank the only KPI to look for when telling if your search brand is doing well or not? When telling if your search brand is doing well or not.
Does it mean brand campaign?
Yeah, Khalid, do you mean brand campaign? And if so, I would imagine that you can still bank on conversions from your brand campaign. So search/impression share it's a predictive indication, but the final KPI is going to be conversion or conversion value, depending on what you're optimizing for.
your conversion rate, click share. Let's see, I guess.
Dave made a point about our fix earlier that we're telling Google that your conversions are worthless if you remove conversion values. And I'm going to fight you on that, Dave. I don't think you're telling Google that your conversions are worthless. I think you're telling Google that all conversions are created equal. So it goes from you move to binary. It's like a 0 or 1, which in some instances is to your benefit. Hey, you won or you lost. It depends on the business, obviously. Steve, John has said minimum budget for PMax is $100 a day. So if your budget doesn't support $100 a day and PMax is not an option, what's the next best option for ecom?
That's a good question.
Great
Max.
question.
So I was reading that there will be a campaign called as Performance Max Retail. I don't know how true that is,
I haven't heard that.
but yeah,
What's Max Retail?
yes. So it will. So I think in next few weeks, Google will start recommending people to upgrade uh, their smart shopping campaign to Performance Max, and that Performance Max campaign will be called as like Google called that Performance Max Retail.
Oh, so it's just all the smart shopping campaigns that have been bastardized into Performance Max campaigns.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know
Basically.
that we'd recommend that, though. I don't anticipate those performing. I'm going to say DSA. Somebody fight me on that. If you had a
Can
low
I-
budget,
I actually
I
have a
say-
client that's running on low budget. That screenshot I sent in our chat this morning is a guy running at $45 a day. But it
What-
also heavily varies on industry, the products you're selling, and and basically what you're selling kind of situation.
that was the $13 cost per conversion with an 18.3 conversion value over cost.
Yeah, and he just took off in the last 2 days too. So it wasn't.
I'm going to share this just so people can say it. FA, you had something to add? So this is
Yeah,
what
I want to add something. I know John said minimum budget for PMax is $100 a day, but he also says the minimum budget for smart shopping is also $100 a day. So it's not a question for what should you run instead of Performance Max. We as an agency, like tell people, our clients, that we need $100 a day to show you decent data, so you can judge our performance. Like if you give us $20 by the end of like the 90 days, we're not going to have enough data to show you. So that's why John said $100 minimum. If you don't have anything else and you have limited sources, you can of course start your Performance Max with even like $50, $40. Like we don't recommend it as a budget to our client.
But
It's
I
hard to
think
pay for an agency if you're not spending at least $100 a day. But if you're not spending on an agency, you could run it less than $100 a day. Onkar, you had something to add there?
yes. So if you don't want to run Performance Max or you don't have the budget, you can go with standard shopping.
Mhm.
But the CPCs are so high, right? Like,
Yeah. But
I guess it depends
Yeah,
on the industry.
Is you have to start with that. So you have to see your search terms inside of standard shopping campaign, so then you can start smart shopping with confidence. Because if you're like getting unrelevant search terms in standard shopping, there is no reason to go smart shopping. So test it out, see what you're getting, then get automated stuff.
Okay. And I guess to Unkar's point, standard shopping at least keeps you very focused. So you don't have irrelevant spend.
yeah.
Steve says it, a natural health supplement brand, 22 SKUs, AOV is $63. Steve, do you have a good lifetime value? Are people coming back? Because if so, then I think you could be cooking with something. If not, then that's going to, I think supplements especially, because you're going to have so many freaking disapprovals. That one could be tough.
Supplements, it's hard in general.
Yeah. How many supplement brands do we have? 25 now? Something crazy?
Too many.
It's that one video I shot because nobody else will take them. I'm really sorry, guys. Ryan says, great day to be great. I love you, Ryan. General question. In the process of setting up a new PMax campaign to replace existing smart campaigns, what's the time frame to shut off the smart campaigns once PMax goes live?
Once it stops spending.
Yeah, you don't shut it off. You let PMax just steal from it, right? And then it'll slowly die.
It usually
Yeah.
dies.
We have an SOP for that. So generally we wait for conversion lag to end. So for every for each account there will be a different conversion lag. So what happens is smart shopping are basically remarketing campaigns, right? So it's 20% new customer and 80% remarketing. But if you turn on Performance Max, then all the traffic goes to Performance Max, but the remarketing audience that get lost in Performance Max, because Performance Max just focus on new audience. So we recommend that wait till the conversion lag ends, so the remaining remarketing audience, that so smart shopping will cover that remarketing audience. Once that remarketing audience exhausts, then we can pause it.
Mm.
So yeah, the SOP is just wait till the conversion lag ends.
Which makes sense because you don't want to lose audiences that
The
you've already paid for that are
Mhm.
going to convert down the line. So a lot of that depends on your path to profit. Real quick, I want to dovetail into something that Onkar kind of brought up, which is the remarketing piece. John says that he heard from Google that Performance Max doesn't remarket as well as dynamic remarketing. And the new SOP is we have to use dynamic remarketing for every client,
Yes. Yeah.
which is
We're setting
that's a
up-
gold nugget if you're listening.
We're setting up a bunch of different remarketing campaigns just to test how well they perform, but we'll see how that goes.
Coming back to Justin, sorry we're bouncing around, y'all. I'm just trying to take these as they come. Justin was the one that was asking about his original question was, how do I fix my conversion tracking for e-commerce and PMax to only show purchase value in columns? Currently, it's showing 80% conversion rates and inflating everything. So then his follow-up now is, not sure which of those two options you recommended. Under purchases, it's tracking 3 metrics. Should I only use one? I have purchase-Sol8. So Justin, are you a client of ours? Sorry if I don't remember you. Google Shopping Feed and transactions from GA. Transactions from GA is to reconcile against, but you don't want, if you have purchase, that's Google Tag Manager. Transactions is Google Analytics. So analytics should be used to reconcile against, but not necessarily to track against. So it would be purchase. Correct, guys?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I hope that helps, Justin. Khalid has a code. Oh, I already read that. Theodore says, hi, guys. I'm going to do a search lead gen campaign for my PPC agency and try to generate quality leads, potential clients. Can you please give some quick tips on bid strategy? So we're going to go help you be a good competitor. And I'm actually being honest. So dude, this is stupid for me to give away, but I'm going to give it away because I am naive. And I think that it makes the world a better place. Here's what we did. And this is freaking brilliant. We took our action plan form and we asked people to, because budget for us is the primary indicator of whether or not you're going to be able to be successful. If you're not giving Google enough money, then you're not going to be able to afford our fee. So if you fill out this form, the first 2 radio buttons will lead you to thank you page A. All the remaining radio buttons lead you to thank you page B. We don't count you as a conversion unless you hit thank you page B. And for anybody running a lead gen campaign, that's a hell of a good idea because you don't have to tell Google that somebody who converted is a lead if they're not a viable lead. So I'm going to drop that pro tip. Anybody else have anything else to share?
So now everybody is going to land on the B.
Dude, people are doing it now. Mike told me, he goes, people are scheduling with me that tell me they have a 10 grand budget. And then I hop on and they're like, well, if you can help us grow, then we could ultimately spend 10 grand. So I got to stop
Theodore,
giving people
feel free to give us 10% if that works.
That's so funny. Yeah, that's exactly right. Theodore, start sending your cast-offs to us. Are we using PMax for Sol8 again? Did we turn that back on? Does anybody know?
No, it's off now.
Okay. Well, because Yvonne's adding the fields. We don't have our 15
Yep.
fields. Yep. Usama, why do you seem so sad?
Kind of sick.
Oh, no, man. I'm sorry. Justin says he's trying to use the data to decide which listing groups to pause. Yeah, I think we answered your question above, Justin. Let me know if we didn't. Theodore says, I see your RT banners all the time. So should I
Retargeting?
Retargeting banners all the time. Thank you. So should I also try PMax or display campaign? Dude, retargeting has been crazy for us. Our cost per lead was $450. When we started running retargeting heavily, it dropped down to $225. And we run, I stole this from Alric Heck. We run retargeting in all channels. So we're in like Taboola, Outbrain, AdRoll, like every ancillary thing that you could possibly think of. And those channels are so cheap. And Yvonne set them up once. I don't think he still monitors them. I'm going to ask him. So you can go run remarketing in all the places. And you can add qualifiers, maybe time on site, pages visited, whatever. But I don't think it's a waste if they've already been to your site. You spend so much money trying to get people there. Steve says that you need vitamin C. I'm asking if he watches our other remarketing campaigns. Archie, do you recommend setting up Shopify store ad conversion tracking with the Google app or manual code?
Manual code.
Manual.
It's more accurate every single time.
Nice.
So yeah, Kasim just sent the blog page in YouTube chat, so you can just follow that blog page. It's just step-by-step process, and it's very easy to set up conversion tracking.
That's the Feed Army link that I dropped in?
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So all three of you say manual code. Nobody disagrees?
No, manual is always the best option.
Dave Ashley, what's your general feeling on URL expansion? Oh, this is going to be so much fun, Dave. This is maybe my favorite question of the day. All right. Is it on in most of your accounts? Is there a better way to test it than by just turning it on for 3 weeks and then off if it doesn't look better?
I like mine's on. I leave it on.
Okay. Usama's for
expansion.
URL expansion, generally speaking.
Yeah.
FA, Onkar?
Yeah, same on.
For some clients, I leave it off.
Yeah. What kind of client would you leave it off for?
If the products are completely different, like for an example, if it's women's clothing, like it's crop tops, jackets, blazers, skirts, like all relevant, but some of our clients like selling rugs on the other hand and clothes on the second category, like other electronic stuff in other categories.
It's messy.
For those, I like to send them to the respective categories.
Yeah. I have a feeling that long-term URL expansion is going to be one of the most powerful parts of Performance Max, especially for a content-rich authority site. If somebody has badass content that really explains, because you can sell a hard drive, right? But the people at the bottom of the funnel know what the hard drive is, but right at the top of the funnel is somebody whose computer's slow, and they don't know why. So then there's education on how easy it is to supplement your hard drive, education on what hard drives are better and why, how to shop, how long it takes, what you know what I mean? Like you could build a customer factory with a content-rich authority site, but you would need final URL expansion on in order to do that. Did Onkar just quit? There he is.
It happens sometimes.
He disappears and reappears.
Just make sure to exclude like unrelevant pages.
Yeah.
Like privacy policy. Like
dude, what a good point. I never thought about like the footer pages.
I sometimes
Honestly,
do that. Like I go
leave it
into
at
Google
homepage.
and
Sorry, I was just gonna add. I said I leave it at homepage, and I actually go into like the client's Shopify stores because we have access, and then I'll look at the pages that people end up on, and I haven't seen any of the privacy pages or any of those show up. It's usually just the product pages always for their bestsellers, and then home pages.
How would you know though? Because Google's not giving us placements or landing page data.
No, but you can still go to their Shopify dashboard and see where people are landing.
Oh, so you're just looking at analytics, like view analytics.
Yeah, I just go to the Shopify analytics and check where people are landing.
just warning, like it happens a lot when you run a DSA. So Theodore, another like tip for you: go into Google and type like privacy policy or returning stuff, and see those ads pop up. Write to those people like saying, "Hey, your Google agency sucks." They're like paying money for like privacy pays, and try to convert those.
That's so funny. You know what sucks now is when we shoot videos, all of our clients start messaging our client managers saying, "Why aren't you doing this?"
Yeah,
We out ourselves. And half the time it's like, well, you only do this. You know, it's hard because there's so many exceptions to every rule now. Khalid says, "I appreciate you guys." We appreciate you guys, man. Like our subscribers, and this has been pretty cool. We all got like
a super chat.
Wait, what? Say it again.
Super chat.
What is super chat? Is that when somebody gives us money?
Yes.
Hey, Justin tipped us $10 Canadian. That's awesome. That's probably for you, Usama. You're the only one that can spend that.
I mean, send it my way or go get a coffee or something.
Yeah, thanks, Justin. That's nice of you, man. Arms of Andes. How do I know when to scale my asset group?
Wait, when you say asset group, I don't get the question.
Arms of Andes, give us a little more context. What do you mean?
If he means like, if Arms of Andy means like build more asset groups, wait for your insights and then use whatever data you have in your insights to build out your asset groups, as many as you humanly possibly can. That's what we do.
When asking for scaling, are you talking about giving it more budget for the Performance Max or creating more asset groups? I didn't get the question.
I guess both.
Yeah, I'm gonna say when the
Yeah.
asset group is performing, then you scale it. I'm not trying to be rude, but that's what feels like a right. Like as you see returns,
You start. That's what we typically do too. Once we start seeing returns and we find our audiences insights, I guess we start creating more asset groups and start increasing budgets to balance things out.
yeah, because the more asset groups you have, the more budget you have to need to feed those asset groups.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a catch-22. That actually leads into Dave's question. So first he says PMax is like magic. Nobody knows how it works. That's true. And then Dave says,
Even Google.
"Oh, dude, so that's funny. Google. Did y'all know that Google asked John how he's using PMax?
Yeah.
Like
The advanced Google
he
team was
goes
like,
into a
"You
meeting
teach
in
us
morning with Google's team and he asked the question, like I don't remember the question, but the Google said, yeah, John, this is exactly how it works. And afternoon he had another meeting with Google's product development, another meeting with another team, and they said, no, it's not how it works. So even Google has no idea
I have
about
no
this.
idea."
I was on a
That's so
call
funny.
with John, and it was like, he's like, yeah, this is how it works. And John's like, and then he pulls up his campaign. They're like, no, it does this, and this. And Google's like, okay, then.
Thank you for the education. Yeah. Dave says, you said you're doing like 100 asset groups in PMax. If you're doing that month and you have a new video each month, you then update the 100 asset groups and reset learning. So the 100 asset groups, that's not every client. That's us saying like you need to build out as many asset groups as is possible. For a small business with a small audience and small assets, it's probably not going to hit 100. But if you can get to 100, you should do so. And man, I can't say that we have a good SOP for updates because it's so client specific.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very
We
specific.
can't even get videos. Like
Clients won't give us videos. Google will create videos for us. And
let aside updating videos.
yeah. Have we
Kasim,
seen?
did you
Yes.
check that? So there is an update in asset library. We can create videos.
So I think it's
Yeah,
so
Jasper
we
that's
can-
going to shoot a video
yeah.
on that.
So we just have to like provide them images, and it will create videos. It's just like PowerPoint presentation.
I was
anybody
there.
use that?
It's really cool. It's so cool in
Yeah,
there.
it's
You
really
just give
cool.
it the
Yeah.
stuff, and it builds out a whole video. It's amazing.
That's nuts. But what about like title, description, metadata, thumbnails? Is all that in it?
I guess
So
you
it
fill
picks
out.
all of that from our ad copy, PMax ad copy.
Wow.
So headlines, descriptions, long headlines. So it
Do you think
picks
it
all
tests
of.
the different headlines and descriptions to see what works best? Probably, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
We're all going to be out of a job soon. That's so funny. Justin says, would setting my ATC goal as observe only fix this?
No,
Why
it
not?
doesn't. We tried that. It still
We
counts
did
it under
try.
all conversions.
But so just a question to Usama, with Google's new column of conversions versus all conversions, that should fix Justin's problem, right?
Yeah. If he
So
has those
Justin-
columns, he can just do it like he was analyzing other campaigns. If he doesn't, then he's screwed.
Usama, can you share your screen and show him what it is that you got? Because I don't have it.
Yeah.
Justin, just so you know, there's new columns
Still
coming.
don't?
I haven't looked in a couple days. Maybe I'm just being lazy.
Kasim isn't worthy.
I'll look right now. So yeah, Usama, you go. Which?
Let
So
me
I didn't
see.
have that too, but now I have it.
You do have it?
Yeah.
Can I just open any account? I've never opened an account.
Try to
on-
open one that is okay for us to show, like clients that are super friendly, like Yellowbird, for instance.
I
Everybody
don't
Open
knows
know.
Solutions.
Yeah, you can open Solutions 8. We have PMax.
Oh, I can open up Solutions 8. True. No, but it's off right now, and we
Really
don't have
pay
listening groups in
attention.
there.
For the columns? Oh, we don't have listening groups.
Yeah.
All right.
Is Yellowbirds in one? I think it's in
Yeah,
one.
it should be in GADS 1.
Yeah.
I just gotta wait for things to load. Until then, next question.
Okay, next question. I'm going to stop looking too. Sorry. Justin said that was my last question. You can keep asking questions, Justin. They're good. I appreciate you. Where was I? Khalid says he has too many bots. So Dave says bot traffic could kill PMax. I'm shocked at how much bot traffic Google delivers. And you know what's crazy is ClickCease doesn't work to help at all. It actually hurts the campaigns. They're trying to bash Clixies. They've been super kind to us, but it just doesn't work. Arms of Andes, what should we consider when we evaluate the performance of our listing groups?
Can you
When we're
repeat?
evaluating
Usual
listing
stuff.
groups.
Yeah. What should we consider when we evaluate the performance of our listing groups?
So if I was to do, does anyone want to take it before I just start talking?
Just start.
All right. If I was to go after it, I'd probably not looking at the listing group as a whole. I'd probably look at it at a product level. And I'd get rid of the product as a whole from all the listing groups. And I'd analyze it like any other campaign that we used to analyze. Check the number of clicks, check my ROAS, check my conversions, that kind of data. And then I would remove it from all the listing groups. If I was to look at a listing group alone, I'd probably look for like 300-400 clicks before I even think of turning it off.
That's
Right.
the other thing with PMax is you can't. I don't know how many people are stopping 3 feet from gold, but I think it's a lot.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are just turning it off before it has the opportunity to perform. Dude, I love this next comment from John Ray. For lead generation, we have an 8-step survey and have not had any fake leads out of about 200 conversions. Wait, John, are you and I in War Room together? Are you the John I think you are? Drop it into chat. Because if so, I want to talk to you. I have a client referral for you. For PMax, I see assets with no videos performing better than the ones with videos in them. Not sure why. Oh, not sorry, John. Never mind. Forgive me. Have you all seen that? No videos perform better than videos. There is no such thing as a PMax campaign with no videos. If you don't add videos, won't it automatically create videos no matter what?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, it will.
Okay. Oh, Dave's asking what's Bar Room. It's War Room. It's a mastermind that Ryan Dyson, Roland Frazier, and Richard Linder and Perry Marshall own. It's awesome. If you go join it, it's amazing. Khalid says for PMax, I see. Oh no, we already did that. So Michael, can you force PMax campaigns to be primarily Google Shopping based?
Nope,
Not.
he can't.
Yeah. Well, you could if you ran Smart Shopping, but July 1, that's going away.
It's going away.
So you can, Michael, but it's not going to last long.
Kasim, I have it open now.
All right, take it away.
I don't know if you can see my screen.
Yep, looking at it.
There we go. So if you have, before we only had these columns, all conversion costs for all conversion rate, all that stuff. This included everything you had in basically in your conversions. Now we have the typical conversion cost per conversion rate, conversion value, the regular stuff we used to look at before. If you have this in your, I guess, PMax campaign available, you're fine looking at the data because it'll only count the conversion action you're tracking in PMax. If you only have these, you're still better off deleting every other conversion action besides the one you want to track.
And this is for
Yeah.
Justin, right? Justin, just so you know, I didn't have it for the longest time. So if you don't have it, know it's coming. And if you have a Google rep, ask them to update your account.
Yep.
And maybe you'll get lucky and they won't be worthless. Cool. Tommy, we have 60 SKUs in pod. How do you go about managing that in Smart Shopping? Our top sellers are taking a lot of the spend and some products don't have any spend.
For
Separate
PMax,
the products out for Smart Shopping, I think. So just separate the products out in a different Smart Shopping campaign and give it a budget, like a minimum budget, $50 or $100. And once it starts getting clicks and conversions, you can merge them into our main campaign.
That's great advice. Theodore says this is awesome. Thank you. Khalid, Kasim, not a technical question, but how do you manage your time with a massive team under your belt? You know, my team doesn't cost me any time at all. To be honest with you, like I hire, look at the guys I hire. These are the smartest guys in the freaking world. And when I hire, I basically start by trying to talk somebody out of the job, let them know that it's hard, and then I hire people that are autonomous. We actually had an internal problem recently where everybody on our team was doing too much work, which is actually, it's a very real problem. We have way too much redundancy. So we have the specialist, we have this client manager, and we have the strategist. And the specialist and the strategist were both doing the job, which was causing, what would you say, guys? Tension, like overwhelm.
Yeah.
But it speaks to the fact that if you hire smart people and then you just leave them alone, that's what I think I'm really good at, is just not doing anything.
For an example, we have an intern today. He created an SOP for the agency. Like even the interns are taking actions.
Dude, for real. Yeah. Our interns are badass, by the way. I was a little nervous. I was like, I don't know who these guys, but they like came out swinging. Yeah. So I would just, Khalid, you don't have to manage smart people. I just get out of their way and then they take things and they run with it. I'm the dumbest human at this agency. And I know that sounds like something that somebody would say, but like if you worked here for a little bit, you'd be like, oh no, he's right. Sean, had to join just to tell you that I appreciate you guys. I was hesitant to adopt PMax right away, but your videos helped me get over it. My clients thank you as well. That's awesome, Sean. Thanks for that, man. Appreciate you. Toy Schnip, we have transactions. All website data is our primary conversion and purchase from the website is the secondary. It seems like secondary is more accurate. Should we switch? That's interesting, fellas. Do you guys see that one? You want me to drop it in the Slack?
Wait, could you repeat that?
No.
Yeah.
Like,
Can you
I see
drop
the
in Slack?
question.
It's in Slack. This is
Yeah,
Toy
transactions.
Schnip LLC. They do circumcisions. Just kidding.
Transactions, all website data, and purchase from the website. I think they're isn't that the same thing? Like if you say transaction, Google Analytics, and the other one is manual setup for transaction, I would understand. But the thing I'm reading, it sounds like the two are the same.
Transaction is the analytics one. Analytics data is always off. So yeah, I'd switch it.
Yo, don't trust analytics.
Okay. So Toy Schnip, switch it. And sorry for my bad joke. Theodore, can you explain to us the difference between metrics, conversion value, and conversion value by conversion time when reporting to clients? Is it better to use conversion value or conversion value by conversion time? John's obsessed with conversion value by conversion time because it shows the conversions in real time instead of attributed to when the click happened. So there's no wholesale rule here. It depends on what it is that you're trying to get across. But conversion value by conversion time, if you're looking at a window, gives you a little bit more in the way of reality for that specific window. It saves you from what happens when you're not able to see what happened before or what happened after. How did I do there, guys? Would you add context to that?
Good.
Yeah. So conversion value and conversion value by conversion time. So I will just explain them the basics, how Google calculates conversion value by conversion time. So it's conversion value tracked on that day and divide the spend. So that means that you are tracking real-time conversion value or real-time ROAS. So generally, if you want to look at data, so just check conversion value in Google Analytics and check conversion value in Google Ads. You will see a difference. So and do the same thing. Check conversion value in Google Analytics and check conversion value by conversion time in Google Ads. You will see they are close. So that means that conversion value by conversion time is real time. So that's why when you are reporting anything to the client, just use by time columns or metrics. So like conversion by conversion time, conversion value by conversion time. And to calculate ROAS, actually we have a column which is
ROAS by time.
no. So ROAS by time. So you have to create a custom column for that, which is conversion value by conversion time divide by cost into 100. Yeah. So you can calculate ROAS real time.
That's surprising they don't have that default inside of Google Ads.
Yeah. So I think that's why they have custom columns.
Yeah, good point. I mean, there's so many things that they should have default. What was the column that John got added?
Customer
I think
lifetime
we
value.
know this.
Oh no, you know what it was? It was when you add conversion value for new customer acquisition, you can see real conversion value. I forget what it's called. Yeah. It's like saying John was here inside of Google. It's pretty cool. Khalid says URL expansion is allowing Google to create title and descriptions from the landing page. That's what Onkar was saying. Dave says there was an article about URL expansion today. Dave, can you send that to me? Will you drop that in the chat? I really want to see that. Toy Snip, we have a performance max for max conversions, but we want to wait 3 weeks before setting a target CPA. Will changing conversion target restart the 3 weeks to let Google learn? Yes. Any change will restart learning, right, guys?
Yep.
Steve, guys, I followed Feed Army to set up my Shopify conversions, and it didn't quite work. I then gave the task to a dev on Fiverr, and now my conversions rock. I'm shocked at the quality of labor available on Fiverr. It's nuts.
Yeah.
So that's good to know, Steve. Thank you.
But we are using the same code for all of our clients, so
yeah,
it's working for us.
Yeah, I have an exception. Like sometimes, Shopify has different themes, and sometimes when somebody creates a unique theme, sometimes they change variables. If those variables don't match, like let's say a product value variable is a product dash value, and now it's ID dash value. Sometimes it's changed. Sometimes it messes up with your theme. You have to check that theme.
Yeah.
Great input. Ryan says, would it make sense to build an audience segment that includes both previous visitor data and branded search terms, or should those be separated?
Separate.
2 separate asset groups, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All in agreement?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ryan, separated. Dave Fogel, if you turn on the final URL expansion feature, headlines and descriptions may be auto-generated for search text based on the provided final URL. This is not available to campaigns with exclusively store goals. Not sure I like that at all. I don't think I understood what you just said, Dave.
I
It
think
sounded really smart, though.
Kasim, URL expansion is for DSA part of Performance Max.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we use URL expansion for that. So let's say if you are running a DSA campaign and there we have dynamic ad targets, so Google has just renamed that to URL expansion. So we can just exclude blogs and everything, and so blogs or other content can come up in Google search.
With URL expansion, with DSA, Google's using DSA for search term targeting. With URL expansion, Google's using URL expansion in the same way it's using DSA, but it's using it
Yes.
for landing page targeting as well, right? So it's a little bit more complex than just content crawl. I'm actually not challenging. I'm more curious because I don't know how URL expansion works. It's just exciting to me that Google would choose what page we land on. Justin's asking, those columns will be added to my account. Yeah, I hope they should be. I don't know why I didn't have them and Usama did. Yeah, I didn't have them in the same damn client and Usama did, which was crazy.
You are dissing Google in every of your videos, and you're still wondering why they're not giving you
I'm
stuff.
being punished. Etsy just shut down $50,000 a month account 3 days ago. Should I be doing bestsellers campaigns, 150 best-selling campaigns, sports, auto, military, sci-fi categories? That's enough. I don't know that I understand, Brett.
I think he's saying he should take all his Etsy bestsellers and put them on Google for PMax. Is that what it is?
ST just shut down. I think he's talking about his ST account, not Google Ads account.
So take all of your stuff from Etsy and throw it at Google Ads, Brett. And I would say use all your SKUs, right? Is there any reason to limit it? Unless there's margin issues?
Yeah. Use all of them. But don't, the only thing I'll add to that is don't expect the stuff that was selling on Etsy to sell just as well on Google. They're 2 very different platforms and very different customer bases. So what was selling really well on Etsy might not sell at all on Google.
Yeah, that's why we recommend go with all products.
Yeah, go with everything.
Which product works.
Unless there's fulfillment issues. If you're going to run out of something, stop. Don't bring it to me. Because we have clients that do that. They're like, oh, go sell this. And we're like, we sold them all. We're so happy. And they're like, oh, well, we're out now and we can't have more for 9 months. And, yeah. That's so funny. Sean says, ClickSees doesn't seem to work for my clients either. # shocker. Sorry, ClickSees. Michael asked, I think we already answered this. Can you force PMax campaigns to be primarily Google Shopping based? Some of my smart shopping campaigns have worked historically better than some of my PMax campaigns. You can't anymore, not after Google rolls out smart shopping. Justin, do you wait the full 45 days after launching PMax before starting to turn off underperforming listing groups?
depends. If something is excessively overspending and doing bad, while the other ones aren't spending at all, then I'll turn that one off and give the other ones a chance. But if they're all evenly spending, then no, I won't. I wouldn't really touch it.
Questions. How can I send in questions when I'm unable to attend live? Most of the times I can't attend live. Right now, Steve, we're having a tough time managing all this. I'm trying to figure out, somebody asked for a membership for Solutions 8. So we're building a membership. Oh, let me go ask Julianne where that is. Any updates on our membership. So that'll be a little bit more robust. But until then, right now, it's kind of like a show up or we're going to have a more difficult time. I'm so sorry. I hope that didn't sound dismissive. We've got 5 minutes, so I'm going to go rapid fire. You guys ready for rapid fire?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on targeting multiple countries of sale within the same PMax campaigns?
One usually takes over. Bad idea. Target separate.
Interesting. How do we know that?
Because I did it.
What is a good strategy for stepping down budget? We started off a lot higher than I think we needed.
Put a T ROAS.
Put a T ROAS.
Oh, that's smart.
Higher T ROAS, yeah.
I've asked this before, but maybe one of the guys has an idea about how to fix it. On one of my accounts, conversion value between analytics and ads has huge discrepancies from 20 to 300% depending on the country.
Check your tracking code and your analytics.
Yeah, one of those is definitely wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all, and I know that's not a good answer, but that I would go find whoever said they did a good job with the Fiverr guy. Go find that Fiverr guy.
Can I ask a question to John? Like he said, depending on the country, if you have separate currencies, the template tracking code for Google Ads is let's say you run it for USD. It's not a variable. It's still USD. You have to change that and make that a variable if you're running on different countries.
Dude, that's brilliant. You're right. So it's calculating everything USD.
Yeah, because Google Analytics transfers it automatically if you set it up correctly. But Google Ads, the given Google Ads code to you, they say change the price variable, change the transaction ID variable, but the currency is set. You have to change that if you're running multiple countries.
That's a great answer, F.A. Thank you. Tommy, thoughts about doing 2 PMax, one with Google Signals and the other with customer lists and in-house signals?
Don't like it.
So one PMax put those in different asset groups.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand that these are not targeting options. These are just signals. At the end of the day, Google will just use that data and just like go wild with it anyway. So you will have like collided data between them.
Jason James, would you say the higher the AOV, the longer it takes for a new all products PMax campaign to learn? E.g., 90 days isn't enough. I have $3,000 plus.
$3,000 a month?
I'm assuming $3,000 a month.
Higher average order products do tend to take longer, but it depends on how high and how much demand. So that's like a loaded question with not enough information.
Yeah, it depends on the demand too. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Because there's like ravenous markets out there for stuff that is actually still pretty expensive.
Yeah.
$3,000 average order value. With
yeah, that's definitely going to take a while.
Yeah.
I ran a campaign for a client that had like 2,000 and like my conversion lag was almost 20 days plus. So
the path to purchase on that, because we have a client that does ophthalmic equipment, and we see people that converted 18 months ago that come in and finally purchase.
Mm-hmm.
We did it. That's the hour, y'all. I appreciate everybody who showed up to ask questions. To my strategists, I appreciate you guys to show up answering questions. Do you guys like this, or are you miserable and do you hate it and you never want to do it again?
It's miserable and I hated it and I never want to do it again.
Okay, F.A.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
All right. Well, we're gonna have you back, except Usama. And just so everybody knows, F.A. is about to get married Sunday. Congrats, F.A.
Thank you.
Super excited for you. Are you doing anything? Are you going like on a honeymoon? Are you gonna go? Where are you gonna go?
Yeah, I'm going to Antalya. It's a city in Turkey. I will go there a week after my wedding.
Nice. How long are you going?
1 week. Like I told you everything. Like don't you know?
I told you, I mean,
I literally asked for your permission.
yeah. That's how
Just
much
for
I trust
everyone
you.
on the
I
live
know
to
stuff
know.
is going to get done. That's fine.
And you're asking this guy, how do you manage stuff?
That was my answer. Is that I don't, wasn't it? I don't manage. I hire smart people and they do what they're supposed to do.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time. Thanks everybody for watching.